Jason Lickery writes and directs Jack vs. Lanterns, a 2017 ultra-low budget B-movie horror film. So, what's the story? Well, we have a situation where a kind of demonic entity, some type of creature arises, this kind of Jack-o'-lantern style creature, and he is responsible for creating these kind of pumpkin-headed people that are literally paper mache pumpkin creatures, and we get a bunch of other characters kind of caught up with it. We've got a subplot where we have this rich woman wants to kind of clone her husband so she can get him, this clone, to kind of sign a agreeable divorce settlement. What will happen? You'll have to watch the movie and find out. So let's talk about it. Why did I watch this movie? Well, two reasons really. Number one, I kind of like scarecrow movies, and this kind of looked like it might be a sort of scarecrow-ish type film. And the second reason is it stars Monique, who is a screen queen who I must say I have rather a crush on, it must be honest. And I quite enjoyed her work previously, and they were the reasons why I watched it. So let's talk about what worked in this movie. Don't worry, this is going to be a real short list. Monique, I mean, she's super hammy in this, and she's obviously kind of just playing tongue-in-cheek, but I still think she can kind of vamp it up with the best of them and make for a compelling character, even though it's super cheesy, meant to be so. Her character is like, a despicable kind of rich kind of person and stuff, but it's somewhat of a fun character. Second reason, I think the actual soundtrack isn't, believe it or not, is actually fairly good for a movie like this. I was actually kind of quite impressed with some of the musical choices here. That's about it. The only other thing I could say is this is one of those films where you would legitimately put on if you just wanted something on in the background that looked funny and crappy, because that's what this movie is. Now, it's clearly not a movie that is meant to be taken especially seriously, but it's kind of one of those films that, and I've used this example before, if you've ever watched a low budget film and there's a scene where someone is watching something on television in the movie and it's normally some crappy old horror, it's like one of those film within a film type situations. But let's talk about what doesn't work, because I mean, as much as you can kind of laugh and point at a film like this and think, oh, look how crappy it is, look how much kind of like silliness is on screen. I mean, it, arguably speaking, is a crappy movie. Now, one of the things that strikes me with this one is when you can have fun, crappy films. And this is one of the reasons why I like B-movies, because you can still overcome budgetary issues if the movie's still fun. I mean, arguably you could say it's not a good movie, but you can still enjoy it. And I'll use a film called Corpse Sniper that I reviewed some time ago. It's low budget, but I really enjoyed it. This one, it's just not fun. It's just not fun. It's way too long. I mean, a film like this, you would expect it to be about 70 minutes. This is an hour and 45 minutes. It did not need to be this length in time. Part of the reason for that is it has these really long extended scenes. Now I have to say, and I don't know, this is my speculation, but I suspect this movie, the cast are just riffing, they're just improvising. That's how it seems, at least in a lot of these scenes, because they just go on and on and on. And we have these long sequences without any edits of just someone blathering around. And it's just boring to listen to. So this movie really has a real problem with pacing. Like I said, the length of it is too long, and then just scenes just go on for ages, and nothing really is interesting. Now, I can forgive crappy effects to a point. I like B movies. I can forgive crappy effects. But I mean, you know, you have to call a spade a spade. I mean, we're literally talking about paper mache pumpkins here. Now again, it could be fun in a weird way. This aesthetic could be fun. But because of the kind of the slow, boring pace of this movie, the kind of the fun little sequences that it does have, I mean, they're too few and far between, to be honest. And arguably, the reality is it's extremely low and silly effects. Anyone who is not at all interested in B-movie schlock is not going to be interested in here, because it's literally homemade. You know, it's someone who has no training in regards to making any type of practical VFX has made these sort of effects, and that's what it looks like. It looks like sort of primary school children have made masks, and that's what we're going with here. And then we got, you know, poor green screen. We've got just kind of like silly kind of like drop-in digital effects. There's no budget here. I mean, how they got Monique Parent to do this, I have no idea. I mean, I know she's a screen queen, but I would have thought she would have at least charged over $1,000 to be in this movie, but maybe she did it for $20. Who knows? So yeah, the whole point of this movie is just kind of like meandering. I mean, the scenes where we have this with Monique Parent and trying to clone her husband, you're watching thinking, what has this got to do with the actual plot? I mean, eventually they'll kind of dovetail in, but my God, it takes its time to get there. And it just is such a sort of like spinning its wheels. I mean, on a technical level as well, it's just terrible. You know, obviously there's scenes that are underlit. I mean, this is really a litany of like poor movie decisions. Now, I get it's not meant to be a film to be taken seriously, and you can't really judge it in the same way that you would judge even a low budget kind of independent movie for the most part. But boy, it is a rough watch, and I like B movies. God damn, this was a hard one to sit through. Had it been 70 minutes, I think maybe it could have been fun, but it just drags. It's a 2 out of 10. This movie was rough. Have you seen it? What were your thoughts? Leave me a comment, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Be careful of explosive Jimmy Smiths.